Okay, thank you very much for joining my presentation today. I'm Takashi Matsumoto as a senior specialist lead of Deloitte Japan. I'm not good at speaking English, but I'd like to share our practice today, especially for international members. So I try to deliver my presentation in English, and please forgive me for my English and my glance at my cheat sheet sometimes. Okay, and let me introduce myself. I'm conducting the joint research project with the University of Tokyo and JDLA. I'm a visiting researcher of the University of Tokyo, and in parallel with Deloitte practice. And outside of Deloitte, I'm also involved in activities such as GPay as a researcher of the University of Tokyo. And I'm involved in the member of the policy recommendation team for the G7 summit. It's held next month. The University of Tokyo gathering the experts, the AI governance experts in Japan, and I'm joining the member of the feedback. How can I say the feedback expert and release the report. Please, if you have an interest, please see the report. Okay, and today I would like to share with you the industry, academia, government collaboration activities, including Deloitte Japan as an important role. And if you're involved in similar activities in your country or international communities, please let me know your activities and yourself, and please communicate with me. Please feel free to contact me. And I'm also I have a LinkedIn account, so I hope to get your connection request. I hope, yeah. Okay, now let's get to the main topic. As you know, many international organizations and countries and enterprises are released in the AI governance principles. The principles meaning the policy paper and recommendation and guidelines and as a standardization other things. It's released in the recent years, in the several years, but AI utilization is spread in the world. For example, the ChatGPT. It's also it's spread in the worldwide basis. So we have to concentrate it to practice how to realize AI governance in the world. So we are accelerating AI governance to practice phase globally with our strong passion. Actually, we in these years, in 3 years, we got the project related to the AI governance with clients, for government, for public sectors. So we conducted the project, research project. It's related to the international principles and the standards related to AI governance and the law and regulation. And recently, we are conducting many projects for our clients, for enterprises. Sorry, my Roomba is on. I don't know why. And it's focusing on how to make their policy and how to build their process and organization related to AI governance globally, and how to risk management and monitoring, focusing on the AI services, and explain for external many stakeholders socially. So the actual project needed to the advanced information and the regulatory information. So the DAI Japan is focusing on conducting the joint research project with external experts, including academia and the government, the policymaking peoples, and other communities. So today I introduce the three activities for research and development and global networking. The first one is a risk-sharing model. It's a framework as focusing on the AI service. The AI service is the meaning, the use cases, each individual use cases. It's not whole of the organization. It's an individual use cases focused on. And actually, we developed the risk-sharing model idea and communicate with University of Tokyo. And after this, in the University of Tokyo, and actually I'm developed the framework as a visiting researcher of the University of Tokyo. And after the release the framework, we got the joint research project between the Japan with the University of Tokyo. And I practiced more than 30 actual use cases. The use cases also including the POC phases and utilization phases, but we practice 30 use cases with the active, actually, how can I say that? The actual practitioners, the clients, the developers, and the users. So you can see the you can see the many other additional information, and in detail, there's a QR code in the top right corner of the slide. So please feel free to scan it with your smartphone. And you can see the other additional information includes the guidelines and the movies. Movies as introducing how to use risk-sharing model in webinar and use cases information in English. The risk-sharing model is focusing on the of course, AI services and also business values and social goods in parallel. AI risks includes the fairness and transparency and understandability. As many risks we have to consider to utilize the AI. So it is very important that the business values and the social goods are considered in parallel. And for especially AI services, utilizing phase, using phase is probably more difficult than developing phases because of after cut over, we have to conduct to the adapt environment changes. Environment changes meaning the business environment changing, the data is always changing, the user is changing, and the business concept is strategy is changing, and the law and regulation is also changing. It's we have to adopt any changes after cut over the AI services to maintain the sustainability. And communication with the multi-stakeholders is also very, very important because of the AI service effect for many variety of stakeholders. So actually, 5 specialists of Deloitte Japan are visiting researcher of the University of Tokyo, and they are practicing each their research projects of AI governance. Let me introduce risk-sharing models more. And the first one, I explained the business values and the social goods is very important. It's for example, recruitment AI. We are considering to the recruitment AI at first. We are considering defining the values and objectives for multi-stakeholders, including the business values and the social goods. So for example, recruitment AI as 4 examples, 4 values and objectives are defined. The maintaining and improving the hiring level and the reducing the cost of recruitment and providing service for groups. And the corporate social responsibility includes fairness, fair recruitment activities. So after defining the values and objectives, we are recognizing the risk scenarios related to related to the values and objectives. The risk scenarios includes many variety types of risks. So, for example, the AI prediction and for example, the AI predictions and the risk caused by users and the environment changes. The change means, for example, the business trends and the other new business strategies, and the difference of the situations. In groups meaning the group cooperation. And the business requirement the speed is also important, and ethics. So risk scenarios covering many type of the risk in this step. And after recognizing the risk scenarios, we are considering the we call the control coordination by using the risk chain model. This red line is a risk chain as the connecting to the technical control and the non-technical control. Sometimes we have to, the user control is also sometimes needed for mitigating the risk. The previous steps are where we find the recognizing the risk scenarios. For each risk scenarios, we are considering how to control the risk by using this model. This is a green area is an AI system. It's a technology area, includes data, AI model, application, and the system environment. And the service provider is a blue area, includes AI systems and is a code of conduct, including accountability, privacy, fairness, and the operation management is how to operate the organization and the business procedures, and the communication with users. And the user area, this orange area includes understand. I think it's very, very important for users. The includes user responsibilities and the expectation for AI performance and the effectiveness for users' lifestyle or work style. And the user environment is the user sometimes needed to get their ability, and the awareness is recognizing the AI existence and the control. Sometimes the control the AI services, and the proper action is very important. So the connecting the risk chain by each control, the important thing is the single point cannot mitigate the risk sufficiently and eternally. So we are finding the risk controls by each areas and connecting the relations. So sometimes in this case recruitment AI risk scenarios of fairness, user have to understand the performance and negative tendencies because of the data. For example, the data rocking. For example, the clarified target was the negative tendencies because of the data lock, and so user understands the AI negative impact, and sometimes they have to control by themselves. So the drawing risk chain with multi-stakeholders, so for establishing their trust and their consensus with among multi-stakeholders. This is an actual example in Smart City Kashiwanoha in Chiba Prefecture in Japan. We gathered this workshop is focusing on the AI camera use case with citizens. We discussed with the citizens, and actually we are gathering the University of Tokyo people and UDC Urban Design Center is the area management company in Kashiwanoha, and the Hitachi, and actually, I forgot to write. And actually, World Economic Forum people is also helping me to organize the workshop. In this use case, we are conducting to risk assessment and control coordination with citizens in Kashiwanoha. After the control coordination for each risk scenarios, we can understand and we can recognize the risk controls with multi-stakeholders. So we arrange the role and responsibility for multi-stakeholders. So it is very important that the multi-stakeholder sharing the consideration for the how to mitigate the risk scenarios by using risk chains. So yeah, it is very important to make consensus with multi-stakeholders, and yeah, it's the purpose of the risk chain model is not depending on the AI developers. In many cases, especially in Japan, after AI service launched, many troubles and many accidents happened, but actually the data scientist and AI developer is always tackling the many type of risks and many type of incidents. Yeah, because they have many knowledges. But actually, the data scientist paper is rarely, and many of the risks is not related to the AI performance, and yeah, sometimes it's caused by users, it's caused by business understanding, and caused by business processes. So, but AI developers is it's a concentrate to the many risks is needed to help by AI developers. So I hope I make the framework as for solving the problem, not depending on AI developers too much, and sharing the appropriate role and responsibilities with multi-stakeholders and make consensus. So risk chain model, we have practiced many use cases, more than 30 use cases by using risk chain model, and you can see the link and the QR code, and you can see the published use cases, 11 use cases, and actually, it's not disclosed. Now we are preparing to disclose the AI camera, these use cases, for example, AI camera, facial recognition, and adaptive learning, and other use cases. And actually, we are conducting to practice use case by using ChatGPT. And for example, the ChatGPT as a user, user guideline is also important. It's very, very important. But in some cases, some AI services are customized from the ChatGPT. The AI services is produced. So the risk chain model is focused on their AI services. And now we are practicing, and I hope to share the use case in the future. And it's advanced practice of the risk chain model with other experts. And for example, Fujitsu released the AI ethics frameworks, and we are conducting the joint case study with other frameworks in parallel in the same practice. And in this case, we conducted the Fujitsu analyze the risk factors of ethics and identifies by using the analyze information, and we're finding the risk scenarios and the referring some informations for finding the risk controls. And it's the case is a focus on the training program in the company. It's a NEC. It's also a system integrator company in Japan, and we use the risk chain models for training AI service managers. It's after launching the how to the leader of the service management of AI services. So by using the risk chain model, they can understand how to control, how to find the risks related to their AI services and how to control their risks. And now we are practicing in parallel with the ChatGPT use cases. And as a case, we are practicing the risk chain model and robust intelligence framework. And now we are practicing. I hope to share the use case in the future. Yeah, this is our practice. This is our practice by using the risk chain model and by framework. So I hope to not only sharing with you but also collaborating with you in the global use cases. And after this, I hope to share the other activities out of the risk chain models. In this case, we are conducting the AI governance community in JDLA, AI governance and its evaluation study group of the Japan Deep Learning Association. And actually, Deloitte Japan is a platinum member of the JDLA, and Mori-san, he is also he's an advisor, external advisor in JDLA. So in this study group, released the AI governance ecosystems. It's external, many stakeholders find it, and what is the role and the response? What is the role and the expectation as arranging. And also, actually, it's Deloitte is not the official member, but the GPI as I'm involved in the GPI practice, the Global Partnership on AI, and the working group of the future of work. This community makes collaborating with many universities, the 5 universities in this year, as a joint research is the AI impacts for the workplaces and interview. So actually, I'm involved in the project management office of these activities. And I also joined in the G7 summit. And the Deloitte member, presented the practices multi-stakeholders for the UN Commission on the status of women 67th event. So we think that we have to collaborate with the international research activities of AI governance. It's very, very important. We have to get the advanced ideas, and we have to get the multi-stakeholders values. We have to understand the multi-stakeholder values. So, and it's not only participating, we try to accelerate their practices. So if you're the same practicing in your country or international activities, please sharing me, and I hope to communicate, and I hope to collaborate with you more. Okay, this is the last slide, the summary of my presentation. And the AII as a practicing for AI governance to practice by joint research project with academia and the external experts and with AI governance communities and in global policy recommendation activities, as including the G7 and the GPI. And for international practices, we proceed the international practices. So I think the DAI Global Network is very, very important. Our collaboration is very important, and I think it's a key enabler to spread the AI governance and the trustworthy AI. Okay, that brings my presentation to a close. Thank you for my attention. Thank you for your attention. Sorry. 終わりです。
松本さん、ありがとうございます。はい。実はQA から一つの質問を受けておりまして、はい、日本マーケットにおけるAI の開発者の、の確保について何か挑戦があるかを、松本さんのご意見を伺いたいです。はい。
Thank you very much, Chris-san. It's very, very serious problem, and actually, the many activities and includes government focus on to increase the AI developers, but actually it's very, very difficult, and it's not it's not sufficient with to get the AI developers. So actually we hope to use prompt engineering by ChatGPT, and so my the ListGen model as a framework is focusing on the adapting the 最適化ってなんて言うんだろう。まあ、adapting the resources correctly. So yeah, it's now we are challenging the now we are challenging, and I hope to share, and I hope to understand the good practice in your countries. Yeah, please let me know. Let me know the best practices.